In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make pop folk music, kind of like Noah Kahan, Post Malone, Mumford & Sons, The Lumineers, Vance Joy, that kind of vibe. And to do that, I remade Noah Kahan and Post Malone's viral hit Dial Drunk in FL Studio, and I'll break down the song's elements, the sounds of those elements, the mixing, the structure and arrangement, all that jazz. And hopefully by the end of this tutorial, you can make a song in a similar style to this one. Set the tempo around 110 to 115 BPM. Start off by finding yourself a banjo sample. Some good resources that I could recommend for banjo samples like this are Splice, which is paid for, and Looperman, which is completely free. Both have very good selections for sounds like this, but I feel like Splice has the best selection for banjo sounds like that. I found a lot of good ones from there. Next, craft some piano chords around that banjo sample. If you need help with creating chords, the legacy version of chordchord.com can help you out a lot. All you have to do is pick your key and it will generate some chords for you, and you can play it and it'll show you the notes in each chord and stuff like that. It's really good. I really like using that. For this piano sound, I use two flex presets to accomplish the sound. I use this close grand preset and then this whatever that is preset. And I put a little sidechain on there and a Fruity Blood overdrive, but nothing done to it, just a preset thrown in there for some extra amplification for the sound. And then, as you could probably hear, a pretty strong EQ for the lows, just taking out a lot of the lows and then boosting a tiny bit of the highs. We're going to focus on the lows with the basses and stuff, so we don't want that to interfere with the basses that we're going to make. Next, take the same chords but put it into a guitar sound. I have 4 flex presets to accomplish that guitar sound. I have this one down here, this one as well, and last but not least, this one. So for the sounds, keep them on the acoustic side, but you could also implement some electric sounding guitars that I have in here as well, but they're still on the acoustic electric side. I have an EQ that kind of looks like a roller coaster, just kind of takes out a lot of the highs and makes it a little bit of a more muffled sound, and taking out the lows again for the same reason with the chords, and a tiny bit of a sidechain on there as well. Next, chop up those guitar chords. This is just kind of like a top layer for the guitar to make some extra texture and to fill up the mix a tiny bit. I have this rock acoustic preset from Flex, and the only mixing that I have on here is this weird looking EQ. I basically took out all of the lows. The lowest and the second lowest, I just brought it from like over here all the way to over here, and I increased the highest frequency a lot, as you could probably hear in the final sound, just so that it's a very much texture based sound more than like a very substantial sound. Next, take the bass notes from those chords, chop them up into a rhythm. I use this flex bass guitar preset, this one as well, this cello upright bass preset from Flex, and then this slap bass guitar preset for some extra long bass. And by extra long bass, what I meant is that this preset on the bottom is just long notes of the same bass. The other ones are chopped and that one's just long. And for the mixing, I did nothing except add a simple sidechain on there, just a tiny bit of the mix. Now for the drums. I have a kick. Make sure it's an acoustic kick, but it's very light and short and punchy. I have a snare. It's a very soft and textured snare. And make sure to put the kick and the snare in a simple folk type pattern that sounds like this. The kick playing on every downbeat, and then the snare playing on every in the middle of the downbeat, so it's dun 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 dun. I have this ride loop. I have this shaker loop. I have this shaker loop. And then I have this tambourine loop. And then along with this crash. And all together, the drums sound like this. Very shaker and tambourine reliant. And for the mixing for the drums, all I did is I put a Fruity Blood overdrive on here with the color turned all the way up just for some extra texture for the drums. The filter turned a little bit up like this, and then for some extra amplification, I turned the main knob about a little more than quarter of the way. Now for the structure and arrangement of this track. For any intro, I would suggest just relying only on the banjo, maybe some other elements as well, but just mainly just the banjo. So that's like the intro right there. And then for a bridge or build up or anything like that, I would suggest implementing some of the elements here and there, like the top guitar, and then like maybe the long version of the bass along with the snare, and then maybe some rides here and there, just like a stripped down version of the drums and a stripped down version of all this stuff. So that's like a bridge right there. And then for the chorus, you just have everything playing all at once. You have the banjo, the piano, the guitar, the top guitar, the bass, and all of the drums. After all that, here's the final result.
Trying to sober back up and loosen my car.